Rally Towel fam, what is up? Good evening. Welcome to the show. We have got a ton to cover tonight. There's been an absolutely insane week in the NFL. Lots of movement, lots of surprising moves, and we've got all of it for you here tonight. We're gonna break it down and give you our thoughts. With us, as always, Mr. Corey James, joining us again, Joe Wilson. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Bobby.
Good to be back.
Hell yeah, always. So I want to start. I think it's the most groundbreaking news of the NFL postseason or offseason, I should say. Davante Adams traded to the Oakland Raiders for
Las Vegas Raiders.
22 Las Vegas Raiders.
It's okay.
It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while to get used to that, even though they've been there for a couple of years now.
I'd still say San Diego Chargers, so you get a best there.
I appreciate that. But yeah, so 2 first-round picks this year. He signed 5 years, $141.5 million, leaving Aaron Rodgers in the dust.
Yeah.
I mean, what? I just got chills. Like, why? Why did this happen? What? Like, so who wants to go first? Joe, give us your take on this, man.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, at this point tonight, I'm going to be a little sympathetic towards the man. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm thinking that every time the Packers front office speaks to me, they're lying. Because unless he knew this was coming up, I don't see why he and I don't see him signing this if he knows that this trade's coming up. I don't see him signing his contract.
No, not at all.
Because this is crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. I had to do a double take when I saw it just a couple hours ago. We're getting ready to do the show, and I'm flipping through the NFL Network just to see what was new, and I wasn't expecting that.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely insane. Bruce, hello. Jeff coming in with a comment. My bet Julio Jones to the Packers. Interesting take. There are still some good wide receivers out there on the free agent market. Corey, what do you think? Who's gonna replace Davante Adams on the Packers?
Yeah, Bruce, thanks for liking and sharing the stream. Appreciate you, buddy. How do you replace Davante Adams? Though that's the like. I mean, even Julio Jones, 30-plus-year-old receiver, is nothing compared to Davante Adams. So I don't think you can. I don't think you can replace that kind of production. Not with just one person, right? Not one guy on the roster. So that, it's a tough task. It's a tough ask for the Packers front office to do that. In my opinion, I feel like they're going to draft a quarterback with that Raiders first round pick. And, I had seen this on Twitter and I was kind of blowing it off because like the sources that were coming out was like, hey, there's going to be this. I actually saw this earlier this morning. It was like, hey, sources are saying that, by the end of the week, Davante Adams is going to be traded to the Vegas Raiders, and, take it with a grain of salt, all this stuff going around. And I'm just like, no way, dude. No way Rodgers is signing, and then they're going to do that. And then lo and behold, the sources were correct. But first things first, before we get too far in the show, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Wouldn't be St. Patrick's Day, wouldn't be Line to Gain without a fresh beer. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully this doesn't explode all over my computer. Oh.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. It's trying to, but I didn't let it. I'm a seasoned veteran. That's right.
He's been around the block a time or two.
You called it, though.
I did. Guinness is good for that. It's good for jizzing all over your stuff. So,
absolutely. One other thing that I wanted to make a quick shout out on. Corey, how many teams did we have end up signing up for the bracket?
We have 43 brackets. And it says 44, but one guy didn't get it in before it closed it. But that is amazing. I mean, 43 entries. We set a goal of like getting $500 total dollars raised. And obviously we eclipsed that with 43 brackets at $20 a pop. It's like $860.
$860. Yep.
Yeah.
So $430 directly to charity.
$430 to the charity, at least, right? You know, we've made pledges that, you know, if we win it all, which thanks to fucking Iowa probably won't happen, but if we win it all, we were going to just roll it all into the charity. But we'll see. But at least $430, which is amazing. And, you know, Rally Tile Sports family, that's on you. We appreciate everything you guys have been doing to help with that. And it's going to be fun. So good luck if you entered, and thank you so much.
Yep. All my brackets are fucking wrecked. So just we'll just leave it there. And that's all the talk we're going to have. Bruce said that sounded nice and I'm not a drinker. Yeah, that did sound pretty magical. If you've never actually had a Guinness, strongly recommend you at least have one in your life. They're pretty tasty.
They're smoothest beers in the world. Like if anybody wants to do a chugging contest, like go ahead and grab your Miller Lights, your Bud Lights. I'm grabbing a Guinness. Easiest beer to chug by far. It's just super smooth, low carbonation. If you're in a chugging contest, pro tip.
I thought you were gonna say low carb. I'm like, ooh,
not low carb.
So.
Nope, not when it comes to stouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeff, absolutely, man. No, it's our pleasure. It's one of the big things that we wanted to do as a channel, is, you know, do what we can to give back to, you know, our community and foundations that are close to the Rally Tile family and our viewers. So appreciate you. You always put on a good show every year. So happy that we could do this. Will came in with a comment. Talent follows Brady. Success follows as well. Is there something about Rodgers that keeps that from happening? Maybe something he could change to make a run before he retires. Joe, what do you think?
I don't think that it's something that he can change. I think it's not at this point. I think it's in Brady's leadership. I think it's something in his blood. There are some players in some sports that have that winner in them, and it's, I don't know if it's the ability to work harder than anybody else. Michael Jordan had it. I don't know how many of you guys watched the Last Dance. That was one of the prime examples. And then I don't know how many of you guys watched The Man in the Arena. That
I haven't watched that yet.
You should watch it and watch what Brady puts in. And there's a factor, there's an it factor, and I know that's a cop out to say that, but it's true. And there's been countless GMs and 31 other owners that haven't been able to replicate it, haven't been able to find it. So,
yeah.
And I don't think Rodgers has that in him. I think Rodgers is talent level off the charts.
Yeah. I mean, sorry to cut you off. I think that, Will, I love the question, but he's not going to change anything, because if he was going to change anything, he would have taken less money and brought in talent.
Yeah,
he would have taken less money, and they would have given that to Devontae if he sincerely and genuinely wanted a ring. That's my opinion on that. And Corey, I'm assuming you have similar thoughts.
Yeah, that you took the words right out of my mouth. That's the exact difference between these two guys. Brady, throughout his career, yeah, he took a lot of money when he went to Tampa, but throughout his time there in New England, restructured his contract multiple times to free up cap space. Something that, you know, they were kind of the pioneers in, at least from my understanding of caps and how I've, you know, followed what teams have been doing with caps. Brady was really one that I first noticed doing that, and Patriots doing that, so that they could, you know, keep that roster fresh and you know, competing for Super Bowls, and obviously it worked. So, I mean, yeah, if Rodgers really cared about that, he would do that, right? But
Yeah,
I don't see him doing that. I think Aaron Rodgers is very pretentious. I think he thinks
Aaron Rodgers plays for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's gonna sell you this line about he loves the city of Green Bay and the fans, and maybe he cares about it. Brian, thanks for liking the video, man. Maybe he cares about it a little bit, but at the end of the day, like if it's them or me, it's me to Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Thanks for the comment, Will.
Yeah, Todd came in. I said, I think he's just a tool and isn't quite as concerned about rings as he is personal statistics. I would agree with that. Maybe just more so his personal bank account, not actual football statistics.
Right.
And Jeff is just mirroring everything that we just talked about. Rodgers takes massive money, and they can't build around him. Brady is always middle of the pack in money, but able to win titles. Name a player that has brought in mass money in the NFL and had success in playoffs and championships. And that's always
been amazing to me that like Brady, with all of his rings, all of his success, has always restructured his contract to where he's like the 13th, 14th, 15th highest paid quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And that prior to him, that was unheard of. And really nobody else is doing it either. And now he's getting his money in Tampa. At least he was. I don't know what he's going to be looking at now that he's come back. But
yeah, and I saw an interesting question that was posed. I'll pose it to you guys. Can you guys name a top 5 paid quarterback that has won a Super Bowl in the last 15 years?
Current top 5 quarterback?
Yeah, last 15 years, top 5 paid quarterback.
Let's take a look at who those guys are. Do you have it in front of you?
I don't. I just take a guess. I know some of the names that haven't.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes probably won, right?
Nope, he was on a rookie deal.
Oh, so when they win.
When they win.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, maybe I didn't frame that correctly.
That's okay. Is Ben Roethlisberger on one of them?
Nope.
Highest paid Russell Wilson? No, he was on a rookie deal.
what was?
Oh, Matt Stafford.
Was he top 5?
I don't know. I'm guessing Matt Stafford. He's probably.
I don't know. But it was like it was Colin Cowherd, and he said 0. He said 0 top 5 paid quarterback.
Interesting.
Championship.
Josh, thanks for liking the video, man.
I believe that because like even when Peyton went to Denver, he was not a top 5 quarterback.
Paid? No, he was top 5, but not paid, not salary.
Right? Yeah. He wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting. And it's like, why? I guess for me in the mindset, it's like you can make so much more money off of your legacy and your championships than you will ever make as on a contract in the NFL. Because I mean, you can have all the endorsement deals even after you retire. Look at Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Yeah. This dude has made a living off of his personal brand, and he's still doing it. He's been retired for a decade.
And the general.
Well, he owns part of like JCPenney and Papa John's, Reebok. Like he's a very much a mogul in terms of his business enterprise.
I personally think he's the best business savvy professional athlete that's ever existed.
At the same time, like I completely understand the mindset of getting what you're valued at and getting your contract. Aaron Rodgers is worth the money that he's being paid. I don't want to come across like Aaron Rodgers should be taking less money, but that's up to him. It's whatever he values. If you value that more, which albeit like go for it, dude. Like if that's it's your life. It's who the fuck are we to say that Aaron Rodgers shouldn't take $50 million a year? Are you going to turn down $50 million a year? I didn't think so. You know what I mean? So I think that they're like, in that sense, I totally understand why he's taking the money because I would do the exact same thing.
I mean, would I take $30 million a year and win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, there's no guarantee you're going to do that, though. There's no guarantee that that's going to happen.
And
either way.
And when all else is said and done, he's got one.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's not like he's. I mean, he should, in my estimation, with his talent, he should have multiple rings. But then I sound like Favre and sour grapes too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's like one of the hardest things to do is win a Super Bowl, and because the NFL, the way the NFL is set up is for you to not continuously get better. It's set up for you to be good, and then you're going to get worse, and then you're going to have to rebuild, and then you're going to get worse. That's the way it's set up. It's set up for cycles. So which is when you find teams and organizations that are in this like perpetual doldrums of like sadness, like the Detroit Lions or something like that, or the Bengals were in there for a while. Looks like the Browns are headed back to it. The Dolphins have been there for a long time. So when you see that, it's just foundational issues with the club as to why they're not being successful. So it makes sense for teams that once you get there, there's no guarantee that you're going to get back. There's no guarantee that you're going to get back to the Super Bowl. It's one of the hardest things to do in sports.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a tough road. But let's get into a little bit more of these signings. We got a lot to talk about tonight. The Los Angeles Rams, not the St. Louis Rams, signed wide receiver Allen Robinson. Nice addition to their wide receiving core. Corey, what do you think about this addition and what it does for that team?
Yeah, I mean the rich get richer, right? This is an absolutely insane signing for the Rams. I mean, let's think about this wide receiver core next year. You're going to have Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP. You're going to have Allen Robinson. You're going to have Bobby Trees, aka Robert Woods. You're going to have Tyler Higbee, and you probably are going to have OBJ again towards the end of the season, which will be a shot in the arm for the Rams offense again. So let's say Cooper Kupp gets banged up next year, OBJ can fill in. Let's say Robert Woods goes down again, God forbid, OBJ can fill in. So Allen Robinson is a guy that can absolutely stretch the field, which makes me question whether or not they're going to bring OBJ back again. But with him being hurt, I don't know. Maybe he'll just kind of bide his time and pick where he's going to go, once he gets healthy. I'm not sure, but
right.
And they're expecting him back around Halloween?
End of October, November, that time frame. And then one guy that I completely forgot, which Todd brought up into the chat, is Van Jefferson. I mean, that guy's coming on strong too. So go Gators! But that's a guy that came in a little bit slow in the first season. Last year he made some strides, and I think he can continue to grow his role at the Rams. So absolutely stud signing.
Yeah, and Matt Stafford is just like a little kid in a candy store right now.
Oh my God.
He's not gonna know who to throw the ball to.
No.
It's gonna be wild to see that. But on the other side of that ball, they lost a big defensive piece. Von Miller got an absolutely massive contract from the Buffalo Bills, 6 years, $120 million. Adding another Pro Bowler to that defense. Joe, what does this do for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills?
It gives them another piece that tells me that they should be at least in the AFC Championship next year.
Wow.
I think that they've surpassed Kansas City at this point.
Wow.
Hot take, you heard it here first.
That's my personal opinion. I think that I don't think he's got in the tank what he had a few years ago, but I think he can still get after the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
and it doesn't surprise me that he. I know that some people I was talking to thought that LA was going to make a strong push to keep him. It doesn't surprise me that they didn't. I didn't think he was going to stay anyway.
Well, I mean, at this point in his career, he's obviously, he could retire tomorrow and be a Hall of Famer. But getting that kind of money this late in your career, I mean, if you're him, you have to take it. You have to.
Yeah, because I mean, he gets that money. He's already won 2 Super Bowls. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was the MVP from the first one, right? Was he not the Super Bowl MVP?
He was the Super Bowl MVP with the Broncos. Caroline, thanks for liking the video. Caroline.
He played. He was so vicious in that game that Cam Newton was scared to get on the ground after the ball. You remember?
I don't think Cam's ever been the same since that game.
I don't either.
That's a really good point. Yeah. But I mean, in terms of Buffalo, I'm glad we're talking about it. We, shout out to Mafia Sports Update, aka Tommy Talks, right out of here, the Detroit market big Bills fan that we've had on the show once, and hope to have him on again, maybe around draft time. But I don't know that I'm necessarily ready to put the Bills up there as surpassing the Chiefs yet, just because they did lose a lot on the offensive line in free agency. They did re-sign Mitch Morse, which was a great addition, but I think this contract is probably one that they understand is not going to be lived up. This is 6 years, guys. Come on. Von Miller is not playing football for another 6 years. This is not going to happen. So
you'd be lucky to get 3.
Yeah, it's like we were talking last week about the Aaron Rodgers contract. It's not getting played out.
Getting 2.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even 1, to be honest with you. Maybe Aaron Rodgers takes $50 million and says, see ya. Maybe that's the case. Maybe Von Miller comes in, does 1 more season, takes this, and then he's out. He's just trying to continue to perform and where he's needed, where he's going to get those reps. And I think Buffalo definitely needs that. They need that pass rush that he's going to be able to provide. So it'll be great for them. Don't get me wrong. That's a great signing. And I think it's going to be something that, everybody's going to have to game plan for that when you take on the Bills. And the Bills are still currently the front runner in their division. They did release Cole Beasley today as well. So that's something else that you got to think about. Hopefully he gets a shot somewhere else. We'll see. It's an unvaccinated joke for those of you that have already been drinking heavily today. But yeah, I think I think the Bills are going to be a contender, but I'm not necessarily ready to write them as front runners over the Chiefs just yet.
Fair enough. Yeah. Tez came in with a comment, aka 1L. He said, I don't blame Vaughn for taking the money, but definitely believe that Buffalo overpaid. Yeah, I think everybody can agree that they overpaid for that for sure.
But you have to. For a name like that, you have to.
Yeah, for sure, especially coming off a Super Bowl. Tez being a huge Rams fan, obviously he's pretty excited about the outcome of the game this year. But yeah, we just got done talking about your addition, Jefferson, or I'm sorry, Allen Robinson, excuse me, to the receiving core on the Rams. So you're gonna have a high powered offense there, that's for sure. And you still got arguably the best defensive player in the game. So
their problem on offense is they only have 1 football.
That's a good point. That's funny. Nick Foster coming with a comment. Welcome into the show, Nick. The Chargers are the team I am looking at as a major player in the AFC. Bengals, Chargers, Bills, top 3. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to take this one. I think I'm not ready to put them in top 3 just because they should have been in the playoffs this year and they didn't do it. They have gone out and made some big moves this offseason, though. They went out and got Khalil Mack, obviously absolutely fleecing the Bears to get Khalil Mack on that team. Then they went and got J.C. Jackson for a very affordable deal, bringing him out. That defense has improved. The one thing that we need to see out of the Chargers is their ability to stop the run. Where is that investment? Because they couldn't do it last year. They were very good against the Bengals, actually, in stopping the run. But the addition of Khalil Mack is not a run stopper. That's not what Khalil Mack does. J.C. Jackson is not a run stopper. Right. So I'm interested to see how that changes. another reason I'm not necessarily ready to put the Chargers in the top 3 just yet. And maybe they prove us wrong. I mean, guys, we are so far removed. Literally, the NFL season started yesterday. So we were so far removed from this, but that division is going to be very tough. It has become what the NFC West, we thought the NFC West was going to be. Denver's going to compete for a playoff spot. Obviously, that division still runs through Arrowhead Stadium, and the Chargers are going to get better, though. They are going to be better. I think they're making the playoffs, but I'm not ready to put them in the top 3. Justin Herbert.
Go ahead. What I was going to say is that those 3 are going to beat up on each other. The Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are much improved. Anytime you had Khalil Mack, you should be improved. Herbert can sling it. There's no doubt. They can throw the ball. They can move the ball. But yeah, you're right. I don't think they can stop the run. I'm not ready to put them up there yet. The AFC has some freaking ridiculous
fucking
talent.
dogs, dude.
Like I don't remember seeing one conference lineup like it is against the other. Right now, the AFC makes the NFC look like a minor league. And
I mean, let's be clear: the NFC won the Super Bowl,
right?
Year.
That's what I was gonna say. But
and the year before,
but the NFC keeps they win the Super Bowl the last 2 years.
Yeah,
but I like to think that the Bengals are a top 3-4 contender. I don't think the Chargers are there yet.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we definitely need to see a little bit more from San Diego and Justin
I think they
Herbert.
can be.
Oh yeah,
San Diego. You did it again, Bob.
I did it again. Sorry. This calorie deficit I'm on right now.
Did
My
I
brain
just call them I think I did. I think I did it too. I think I just called.
I think you called them the Chiefs. The Chiefs added Khalil Mack.
I did.
Could you imagine if the Chiefs added Khalil Mack? Good Lord.
I'm not even going to walk down that fucking boulevard of broken dreams. No way.
Oh, let's see here. We got some comments rolling in here.
The chat is hot.
Chat's popping off right now. Jeff coming with a comment. Chargers defense has gotten scary good this offseason. I take Chargers over the Bills right now. Hot take. I don't know if I'd go that far.
I can't, because the Bills are going to win their division. I can't say that the Chargers are going to. You know what I mean? I can't say that the Chargers are going to win their division. And another thing, Josh Allen is better than Justin Herbert. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm going with Corey's, time and time again, proven method of success. And it's, who's better at the quarterback when you got to flip a coin, and it's Josh Allen, at least for me. Brian coming with a comment. Collins and Cincy getting bribed with strippers.
So yeah,
you think Joey B took him to the strip club? Which one did he take him to?
What the reference is, La'el Collins was released today by the Dallas Cowboys. Right tackle for the Dallas Cowboys released. He is in Cincinnati visiting with Bengals brass, which includes Joe Burrow. And as you guys were chatting, I pulled up Twitter real quick. Mike Hilton is tweeting at La'el Collins, telling him that we need him in here to come and protect for number 9. DJ Reader is tweeting on that tweet right now, saying we got plenty of guys here that'll make you feel welcome. So the Bengals are in full force on social media. I don't think he leaves without a deal done. I would imagine a deal gets done tonight if I had to guess. The Dolphins are the other team that's majorly in play. I don't see how you can compete. Yeah.
Why would you want to go to Miami? I mean, maybe for the extracurriculars, but as far as money.
What do you think he's looking for in a deal?
So there's one of two things. There's one of two things that I see coming out of this deal. The first and more likely, in my opinion, is a 1-year prove-it deal. That's what I see potentially coming out of here. A 1-year deal where you can prove it. We're going to take a shot at going and getting a Super Bowl, and then you could either, maybe we re-sign you again, or, maybe you're out of here and you go get paid somewhere else. Or he could be looking for some consistency. Maybe he's looking for a 3-year deal, maybe a 4-year deal. As an offensive lineman, I would want like a 3-year deal because – no one gets injured more than offensive linemen, right? You want some kind of security. The thing with the long-term deals and what the Bengals do in structuring their deals, they don't guarantee money out on the back end of that contract. They're very front loaded and they're very team friendly. So they liquidate a lot of cash up front so that the back end of that contract, the Bengals can walk away from it without having a major cap casualty, i.e. Trey Waynes. Trey Waynes is somebody right now that the Bengals can walk away for very minimal cap damage. I'd expect them to do that at some point here in the next couple of weeks. There's no rush for them to do that right now. If they already know they're going to do it, there's no rush to do it, but I would expect that it's going to happen. So that's the barrier there that they're probably trying to work through. It's about which one do you value more? Where are we at? All these things. So
sure.
So I would say like a 3 or 4 year deal would be the max that we're going to get out of that. He's probably looking somewhere in the neighborhood of like $8 to $10 million a year. I would guess.
Yeah, I was thinking like 3 years, probably 28, 20, probably right there. 3 years, 28.
Another little tidbit here that just broke on Twitter. The Carolina Panthers have been informed that they are no longer in the running for Deshaun Watson.
Really? Okay. Well,
so it's down to the Aints and the Alkins.
We'll get to that shortly. Let's roll through some of these comments here. Earl said the NFC is weak, easier road. Absolutely. Tez coming in. That was awesome to add Allen Robinson, but he doesn't know if they're going to bring back Odell or not. I mean, he may sign somewhere else mid to late season with your comment, Tez, right on par with what we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Let's see here. Will said it's tough to find current odds for the AFC North given the recent moves. Are they winning the North next season? I'm assuming that's referencing the Bengals. Joe, I'll let you take that one, man.
I would think so. I know that I haven't seen the Bengals picked to win the North yet. Matter of fact, the day after the Super Bowl, I saw us picked third in the North.
What the fuck?
They absolutely love to hate us.
Who, they being the media, you're saying?
The media, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati's just not a big market. That's the reason. They had 1 year of success, and they're, maybe, I don't know. I'm not counting my cards for Joey Burrow. I mean
they just won the fucking division. Like, yeah. Let me ask you this: over the last couple of days, have the Bengals gotten worse?
No,
they've gotten better. They've gotten better. Like, ladies and gentlemen, their offensive line next year is going to be at least average. It's at least average next year. They had a bottom third, if not bottom fifth, defensive or offensive line last year, and you're going to tell me that that's better? And they went to the Super Bowl and won the division. Come on.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Earl mirrored that. Bengals win 100%. I agree. I think if you're even a casual football fan who knows a little bit about the AFC North, the Bengals are winning that shit.
I'm not even going to sit here and just tell you that they're going to win. I'm not going to do that yet, right? Because there's a lot of things that are going to happen over the next couple of months.
True.
So I'm not going to just sit here and say they are going. I'm not going to guarantee that. I will say that they should be favored, and if they're not, throw money on it.
Yeah.
Ryan said they're taking Leo Collins to the playpen in Newport.
Not funny. The brass ass.
Take him to the brass ass. We'll never see him again.
Right.
Run up 75 and go to Cheeks.
Yeah. Spent a little bit of time there in my day. Ryan also said 3 years, $27 million for Collins, right on par with what you guys were saying. Yeah, I mean, if you're an O-lineman, you want a multi-year deal, two at the absolute minimum. Another good comment to come in on. How about you, boy Baker? I think he's going to sit out since they refused his trade. Corey.
Dude, what the fuck is going on in Cleveland? Like, they are
in fucking shambles.
Here's what. Let me give you like a metaphor, and I'm going to try and break this down. It's St. Patrick's Day, and you are at a bar, and you get there early. And right when you got there early, you're having your kegs and eggs. There's a really good-looking girl, and you start talking to her, and you guys are hitting it off. You're having a great time. Everything's going really well. Things kind of get a little, you're like, I don't really know if she's into me. I don't know if this is, we're going to close the deal tonight. Then you see this really, really, really gorgeous girl across the bar, and you're like, I think I'm going to step away from her real quick. I'm going to go talk to this really, really, really gorgeous girl on the other side. So you go over there and start talking to her, and she shuts you down. You're actually the first one that gets shut down when it comes to talking to her. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to circle back. And you go back over. It's like, oh, she's not interested anymore. Sorry. That's what's happening with Baker Mayfield right now. Baker Mayfield is the fairly attractive girl that you're having a good time with when at the beginning. Deshaun Watson is the bombshell across the bar, and she shut you down. You go back, and she ain't the girl at the beginning ain't having it no more. So that's what happened. They completely fucked this up. I've never seen anything botched this badly to where they wanted it all. They thought they could go get it. Like, we're the Cleveland Browns. We've made every offseason acquisition that we've fucking wanted over the last few years. Why won't this happen? So, and
they don't have Kevin Costner in the front office. That's what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kevin Costner's not making these fucking deals. So I don't understand how you go about something so poorly. Oh wait, yes I do. They're the Browns. They're the Browns. Yeah, they're destined for this. I don't know, man. I feel honestly, I have a lot of friends that are Browns fans, and I feel so bad for them right now. Like,
yeah.
Turmoil for my rival is awesome, but man, they don't deserve that. And they found their quarterback and then they fucked it up.
It's only Cleveland. Cleveland consistently pulls this stuff. Like,
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Like, they draft quarterbacks. I'd like to see the stat because I bet most of the quarterbacks drafted since 2000 have gone to the Browns. And I mean, like, most of all quarterbacks drafted have gone to the Browns.
It's something crazy. There's a list of like, all the guys that have been drafted ever since like Tim Couch or something like that. It's insane. It's a long list. List.
And then, so they get guys who have good ego. Your quarterback needs an ego, but they're soft-minded guys. And then you get one that's like, he seems to be able to take a little bit, so let's treat him like garbage.
Right.
And so to answer your question, Bobby, do I think he's going to sit out? No, I don't think he will. I don't think that's kind of how Baker operates. I think he'll go out there and play. At least if I had to guess right now, I feel like Baker's not somebody that's going to just sit there. I mean, the guy played through like a ripped labrum, so albeit not his throwing arm, but
right.
Tez roasting me on my analogy right now.
I still don't think he's a Brown. I don't think he's a Brown this year.
No, if I'm him, I wouldn't want to play there. Honestly,
I think he's in Indy.
Back to Corey's analogy. Let's get through some of these comments real quick. Nick said there's no one since he can't beat if we sign Collins to add to the acquisitions we've made already. Burrow making the Super Bowl with the worst of the line is incredible. Can't wait to see Joey B in his full potential with a revamped line. It's going to be exciting to see. Todd coming in and said, if you ask Pittsburgh social media, since he isn't making any free agency moves, who are these Steelers fans? I don't know. They're probably fucking morons. Anybody who knows football, even if you're a Steelers fan, you know that the Bengals are making moves right now and you're scared. Let's see here. Seattle wants Baker. He is gone. I didn't hear that Seattle wanted Baker. That's interesting. Finally getting to Tez's comment. Yeah, that's funny. The longest analogy ever. It was good though.
Yeah,
it's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's true.
It was good.
Ryan coming in with a hot take. You heard it here first. Watson to the Falcons, Matt Ryan to the Browns. Do we see any possibility with that?
I think the next comment by Earl is kind of telling. They don't necessarily have the cap room. The Colts have the cap room. And that's an interesting thing. If I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm doing everything I can to get to Indianapolis. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. Yeah. You have a run game that you can lean on, which helps Baker out massively. You've got some decent weapons there with Michael Pittman Jr., and they've got a great offensive line. That's where I would want to be if I'm Baker.
He can run that offense. That play action bootleg offense. That when the Browns play well, that's what they're doing well. They do it twice a year against Cincinnati, and it kills.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it would be a great fit for him. I think having like arguably the best offensive line in the entire league. I think that would do volumes for any quarterback in that position.
Here's a
Absolutely.
question. Speaking of teams with good offensive lines, potentially, I would say top 3 offensive line in the league. Baker Mayfield to the Detroit Lions.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
How sick would that be?
Some love.
Dude, the Lions fans.
He wouldn't even have to. Wouldn't even have to move, really.
No, he could just take a ferry across Lake Erie every day. That's what he could do. Just take a boat.
If that's the case, the Lions are drafting wide receivers.
He's going to get himself a 30-foot Sea Ray and just show up to work on a massive boat.
Here's a question: How awkward are the Progressive commercials going to be? The No Place Like Home commercials. How awkward are those going to be?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Those are going to be awkward when he's moving.
Dude, and those are my favorite thing about Baker Mayfield too. I love those
commercials. Oh my god. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, here's a hot take from Tez.
Dude,
Jared Goff is better than Baker. I wouldn't dare.
Get the fuck out of here. No way. I'm sorry. No, Baker Mayfield is better than Jared Goff. Jared Goff proved it this year. Albeit the Lions with their weapons, not necessarily great. I think Jared Goff proved it in Los Angeles as well. When the running game was gone, Jared Goff's play went down significantly. I think we're forgetting that Baker Mayfield was hurt pretty significantly for most of this season. There's a reason that we had the Browns picked as potential AFC Championship contenders going into this season. It's because that roster was built really well. And what happened is you had a quarterback that wasn't playing at his best, mostly due to injury, I think. So I'm not ready. I couldn't say that. If I had my quarterback tiers right now, there's 0% chance I have Jared Goff over Baker.
A lot of the world forgets too. Goff was not great at Cal. He wasn't great.
He was like was he the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, but it was he was taking on tools. Like I want to say he was like, if we look it up, like he had a losing record.
Maybe he wasn't number 1 overall.
I think he was. I think he was number 1 overall, but like there was some sort of catch with him.
I'm looking it up.
I think Jared Goff a couple years ago, might have been better than Baker, but right now, no.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
I think
first overall pick. Yeah, first overall pick.
Way more upside than Jared Goff right now. I think Jared Goff's kind of towing towards the end of his professional career with his gameplay, unless he drastically turns it around. Earl said they were supposed to draft Allen, but switched to Baker on draft day. I didn't know that. I don't know if that's.
I think if they
regards to Browns,
I think if they weren't going to take Mayfield, they're going to take Darnold. That was the big thing. Is that whoever their GM is was sitting with Darnold's parents at the pro day when they were throwing.
All right. Tez has requested a stat comparison between Jared Goff. You got it pulled up?
I'm working on it right now. I'm pulling up Pro Football Reference.
All right. I got Jared Goff stats pulled up. You want career or last year?
Let's go. I want career. I want career because they've been in the league. Baker's first of all, Baker's been in the league for 2 less years. So let's just go over that. So let's go career. Let's go with record. What's Jared got? Well, see his record.
Let's go completion percentage, yards. Well, not yards. Okay. Completion percentage.
Let's also be very clear about when you're looking at wins. The reason why I'm not going to address wins is because when you look at the situation that Baker Mayfield went into at Cleveland, and then you look into the situation that Jared Goff went into in Los Angeles, vastly different.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Jared Goff, he's got a career completion percentage of 64.1%. He's
61.6.
Okay, so Goff has him in completion percentage. Touchdown percentage is 4.3.
See touchdown. Okay, you're down there. Okay, I see where you're at. Touchdown 4.8 for Baker.
Okay. Interception percentage is 2.2.
2.9 for Baker.
Let's see.
Yards. How many yards?
Career yards?
I mean, it's going to be more.
21. That 21-4.
Okay, so he's got 7,000 more than Baker with 2 more years of experience in the league, and because Baker's got 14,000.
258 yards per game, QBR. It doesn't have a career QBR for him in here. His highest was 63.6.
Baker's highest was 2020 with a 65.5.
I think they're pretty even.
Baker Mayfield was also AP Rookie of the Year, so Offensive Rookie of the Year's first year.
I mean, I would say that they're right now they're pretty even.
What's touchdowns? How many touchdowns to interceptions? I'm just curious.
126 touchdowns to 63 picks.
Okay, 92 to 56. What yards per attempt is another thing I'm really curious about. How many yards per attempt?
7.3.
7.3. It's exactly the same. So yeah. Given that Baker Mayfield also had fucking Hugh Jackson as his head coach and Freddie Kitchens and Jared Goff had McShay. I think there's something to be said about that in terms of offensive production.
Yeah.
But the stats are identical. There's nothing there that's like, wow, he's way better, he's way worse. The one thing I would say is I think if they started at the same time, I think Baker would probably have more yards based on his throwing clip right now, being that he's only 7 behind. So I don't know. Yeah, that'd just be mine.
A couple comments rolling in. Earl said you got to have a big arm to play in Cleveland to counterbalance the weather. I'd say that's a fair statement. Definitely gets cold up there. Ryan said, I think it's time to add another piece of duct tape to your Browns uniforms and add QB to be named. That's a good one. And then Nick coming in with a nice comment as well. The Browns are a good example for Bengals ownership, and I hope they're paying attention to how short the window is for them to win a Super Bowl before contracts are up and it becomes difficult to keep all the pieces together. They've got a couple years to do this thing. I believe they will. They're showing fans they are serious for sure.
Well, that's true, but they went all in on some pieces where it appears we're still trying to build a team.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct in that aspect, but that comment is absolutely accurate. I think I think that the window is super short. We just talked about this, the way that it's cyclical, right, like that, right? But the one thing that the Browns did that I would never do as a general manager, I would never go after free agent wide receivers. I just wouldn't do it. And they did it twice with Jarvis Landry and with OBJ. Jarvis, I think, was a trade with Miami, if I'm not mistaken, though. But either way, I'm not making acquisitions for wide receivers like that. I'm only drafting wide receivers.
Yeah.
It's a cap casualty. It's all it is.
Yeah. Oh, and the Jared Goff stat that I had was he's got the worst college record of any number 1 pick ever. He was 14-23 in college.
Wow. That's a telling stat.
I like Jeff's comment there.
That's good. Yeah, no, I said, I read it. He said not a Goff fan, but he came into the league with Jeff Fisher when they transitioned from St. Louis to LA. It's a shitty team and environment. Goff and McVay built what it is now.
I'm not giving Goff any credit for building what that is. That's all McVay, in my opinion. I just can't. I can't rationalize that.
I mean, Goff had every opportunity there. They had a run game. They had a solid passing game. The defense was solid. At one point, they were in the playoffs and even made the Super Bowl. And he couldn't get it done. So,
why do you think he's not on the team right now?
Yeah,
there's a reason they traded Goff for Stafford.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Matt Stafford runs circles around Jared Goff, and Sean McVay might be the best coach in football.
Hard to argue.
If you, I mean, the dude's a literal genius. So,
He's almost insane.
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
crazy.
almost to a point of insanity. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being that intelligent. I don't know how I'd sleep.
It's tough. It's tough.
Oh wait, I got
Joe.
something
Do
for
tell.
I don't want to burden you. There, I like it.
that.
All right, adding the sound effects here. Earl coming with a comment. Well, hold on. Tez had 2021 stats for Mayfield: 60.5% completion percentage.
He was hurt.
3,000 yards, 17
Next
touchdowns,
question.
13 INTs, 83-1 rating. Yeah, I don't know how fair it is to grade him. I mean, the dude was he had a shoulder injury pretty much the back half of the season, if not longer. So
he would literally his
like
shoulder would
he does
literally
in a completely healthy year.
Yeah, his shoulder would literally slide out of socket. He would pop it back in and then go play football.
This is the most defending of Baker Mayfield I've ever done.
Yeah, like coming out of college, like I thought he was. I really liked him. I really like Baker Mayfield. Do I think that he has some improving to do outside of the game as well as in the game? He's not perfect by any means. I don't want to come off as that, but I think the way that the Browns handled this situation is so ridiculous. Even if Baker isn't your guy, you keep that under wraps. You manage that situation so much better, because what you've done now is just set yourself up to not have anything for next year. Who's going to be their quarterback? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I think Baker
now.
I don't know.
I think I'd bring Deshaun Kaiser back. Like, are they gonna? You know what I mean? Like, Spurgeon win.
Jimmy G in the 19th pick. Ooh, I like that.
I could see Jimmy G ending up there, but gee, I don't know.
It's tough, man. And Earl said it was his non-throwing shoulder, but yeah, I mean, you got to think, man. Like when you're getting leverage, like when the ball, your arm's going up and then you're following through. Like, and he didn't have the ability to, do a lot with that shoulder.
And he is the style quarterback. He's gonna get hit. Like,
yeah, he's got an aggressive play style, but we don't have to keep beating the drum on Baker.
That's true.
We still have
big story today though.
Yeah, big story today though, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see here, Tez. Yeah, I'm glad Goff's gone, but look at what he did with a worse team. That's what I was comparing to. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to be said with what Goff did in Detroit.
Sure.
There were a lot of games. They could have been a playoff team had they won. I'd probably say 75% of those close games. In that division at least. They would have been fighting for it.
Just
but they lost
every team in the NFL.
I did. That's fine. Shut up. All right, sick. Let's move on here.
There's just one
fucking dick. So another quarterback sign that we can talk about here. The New York Giants signed Tyrod Taylor. So I guess is the Daniel Jones era in New York done?
I hope so. I love Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is my homie, and he has had no chance in this league. Whether it's
some of the worst luck.
He honestly has. Whether it's the Chargers medical staff puncturing his lung.
I've never heard nothing like that before in my life.
I know, absolutely insane. Or getting hurt. With the Browns for Baker to get his start, not to circle back to that fucking circus again, but I really hope that he gets his shot, because I think he's good enough to be a starter in this league compared to some of the guys. So
upset alert. Let us know, Tez, who's
I think it's Kentucky. I think Todd is freaking out right now. I think it's Kentucky.
Dude, I called it. I called UK to lose early.
Did you call him to lose in your bracket?
In one of my 3 brackets, I called for them to lose early.
It's overtime, and they are currently down to a 15 seed by 3. I'll keep an eye on that as we keep going.
Holy smokes! I picked them to go out next round, not this round.
Now they're down 2.
I wasn't very confident in Kentucky's team when I saw them play a couple times this year.
You said it on here the other night, didn't you? Didn't you say not this week, but you said
I
you had
did.
them
Yeah, it was
losing
Tuesday.
early.
It was
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah, I told Todd Kentucky's going home early.
Whew.
They're not a good team. They're a very poorly coached team. John Calipari is the worst coach in college basketball, in my opinion.
Whoa.
He's a bad coach. He's a bad coach.
Wow.
He's college basketball's Pete Carroll for me.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think
That's
he's a terrible
insane.
coach. He doesn't know how to motivate his players. He doesn't know how to get them to play together.
Great recruiter.
He is the best recruiter in college
He's
basketball.
Urban Meyer.
And he is the worst coach. If you could be a GM for a college team, that's what he needs to be.
He's Urban Meyer, except for Urban Meyer has 3 national championships.
Right. I think what Cal's got, what, 1?
1.
Yeah. So.
But how many vacated? Just the 1?
Just the 1. Wait, okay. None. They haven't had any vacated.
He had 1 vacated at. No, that wasn't.
No, he didn't win a national. He's only won 1 national championship.
That was a Final Four. My bad.
Yep. Jeff said Brittany Griner has a better chance of getting out of Russia than Daniel Jones has of starting another football game outside of the Giants. Oh my god,
dude, you're a savage. You're a savage, Jeff.
Lit right now.
What did she buy? Like fucking vape cartridges, and they were like, bitch, you staying here now.
Hey,
how terrifying!
I'm not going to be the one to tell her that she's got to stay.
I was going to say Brittany Griner could start for me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's super sad what's going on with her right now. Hopefully they can get her home safe.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, I mean, the big thing on that is, well, whatever. We won't get into it. Nick Foster, got to run, fellas. Stay patient. Stay patient, Joe. The Bengals are going to win this thing soon. CJ left a winning attitude behind, and they believe in themselves. They have proven to themselves they can win in the postseason. That was a huge confidence booster for the organization. Why not us? Hooday.
Massive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. They got off that hump of not winning a playoff game, and then they went all the way to the Super Bowl. So they got a ton of confidence coming into the season. Todd says he's 2 comments. I'm devastated. I take it UK lost.
No, but they're down 4 with 8 seconds.
Okay, so they lost. Sorry, Todd. I didn't mean to predict bad news for you on Tuesday, but it is what it is. He said that my balls exposed them. Best way to beat UK is attack, whatever that name is, and get him in foul trouble early. Schwebe?
Yeah.
Schwebe? But yeah, I mean, we were watching that game last weekend, and man, they looked terrible. I'm out of the will. Damn it. Sorry, Todd. I'm so sorry. I was just trying to be good at college basketball for once in my life. Sorry.
And final, Kentucky loses by 6.
It's crazy, man. I know they've got Cal on a lifetime contract, but they need to fucking eat that shit and get him out of there. They need something different in there. But
give me more football.
Yep.
What else you got for me?
Well, I'd like to spend a little time talking about Miles Jack getting signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's hear it.
So they signed him to a 2-year deal. It's definitely going to provide some assistance for JJ Watt in that pass rush for sure. So I'm interested to hear the thoughts of you two Bengals fans and what you think that means for the Steelers defense going into this season.
That's a good, solid defense. That's a good, solid signing. Unfortunately, you're not going to get a ton of excitement out of me, because I just want JJ. I just want Watt off the field. I just want TJ Watt off the field.
Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Unless he's hurt,
right?
Yeah.
So, and even then, what did he miss 2.5 games last year?
Yeah, he's still tied to sack record.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The guy's going to have 45 sacks this year.
Yep.
No, but I think that's a good signing to help fortify your guys' defense.
Yeah, I mean they brought back Montravius Adams. They got him re-signed for a 2-year deal. They got Witherspoon back in the secondary on a 2-year deal. Then they got Killebrew, deep in that secondary, 2 years, $4 million. So they're definitely securing that defense up. They've made a lot of acquisitions. They've been more active, I think, this offseason than any than I can remember in the last couple of years. They beefed up the O-line, getting James Daniels and Mason Cole, which are two huge additions to that team. Too bad they weren't here a couple years earlier. We might have seen a different Ben Roethlisberger had he had not running for his life every game. But I feel lightly jogging for his life. But no, I mean, I think, it's the one thing I love about the Steelers is that, even if they have a big change, with Ben going out, it's a huge change. They're still actively trying to be competitive and not, playing for a pick. And that's one of the things I love, man. They're always in it. They're always trying to stay competitive, even when they have injuries and people go down, they're doing the best they can to stay competitive and not lose games on purpose, like a lot of teams in the league do to play for a pick. So that's really my hot take on that. Corey, I don't know if you have anything regarding the Steelers and their off-season acquisitions.
Yeah, I get a note that I'm frozen on the stream, so I've just checking to make sure that that's been fixed. So
you look good now.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, honestly, the Steelers had a decent defense. Obviously, they still gave up a lot against the Bengals, which is obviously everything that in the AFC North, that's what you're holding it up against right now because it's a team that just won it.
Right.
So, again, the main concern for me is going to be Mitch and whether or not he's enough. I want to see the step that Najee takes next year. But the Steelers got better on defense, and they got better in the offensive line. They got better at their quarterback. Whether or not it's enough, I'm not entirely sold on that. Now, Tomlin's a great coach. He's proven that time and time again. I'd say the Steelers' floor is probably 6 wins. I'd say your max that you could get out of the Steelers on a good year is probably 10 this year. I think 10-7 is like the most that you could expect out of the Steelers initially. Again, guys, we have so much left to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But that's where I'm kind of at right now. And that's a wide range because we don't know what Mitch Trubisky's like for a full season. We haven't seen that in a long time, so at least a year. So we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting to say the least. And the Steelers are kind of going a different route. They're not really an organization that's interested in getting the number 1 overall pick, not by choice at least. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, Earl said they need to have a good D since they'll be on the field all the time.
Damn.
just throwing shots here, Earl. No, they spent a lot of time on the field last year, and I think that was very detrimental to that. I may have been one of the reasons why TJ Watt had so many sacks because he was on the field forever. So, we didn't really dig into the Raiders at all. Couple questions there. One, will Derek Carr be the starter there? 2, they brought in Devontae. They brought in Chandler Jones, some huge names, some huge marquee names. What are the goals for the Raiders this year?
I think if there was any doubt that Derek Carr was going to go in as the starter, that was erased today. Apparently, him and Adams are like best friends. I didn't know that until today.
I did not know that either.
Big brother Davey said it on NFL Network. Said that they've been talking that for a while, those two, that if anything ever fell through in Green Bay and in Oakland, that they were
they're going to link up.
They were going to try to play together, and it just so happened that it worked out that they're going to be able to play together in Oakland. So
they played at Fresno State together.
Vegas, not Oakland. Good Lord, we don't know our cities, guys. But so I think he definitely goes in as the starter. I think he also looks a whole lot better thrown to this guy. Like I don't think he looks like a glorified Andy Dalton this
Well, I
season.
mean, you gotta think about the core. They've got Hunter Renfrow now. They've got Devonta Adams. Derek Carr. Finally, he's got some weapons. They've got a decent running game there with Josh Jacobs.
Darren Waller.
Darren Waller.
Yeah,
that's the name I couldn't think of, which is why I skipped to the running back. But yeah, I mean, the offense is going to be stout there, and then obviously adding Chandler Jones makes that defense immensely better. Corey, what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, they lost Faison, they lost Ngakoue. Obviously, they just signed Max Crosby to a massive deal. Congratulations to Max, fellow MAC player out of Eastern Michigan. So always got to give it up for the MAC guys.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know, man. To me, Derek Carr is Andy Dalton. He is that median player, and which isn't a knock on him. I think that's fine. I don't think you win a Super Bowl with it. The Bengals had AJ Green, they had Marvin Jones and Mohamed Sanu, and that wasn't enough. So I don't know. I think that we'll have to see. Maybe it is enough, but I got to see how this defense is going to play. Obviously, they're going to have a good pass rush, but they had a good pass rush last year as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this defensive scheme under this new head coach is going to, which is McDaniel, I believe, right? How it's all going to shake out. The Raiders last season like to play that, that high top safeties where you're not going to beat us deep kind of defense. Give up things, under the middle, which you saw the Bengals take advantage of it, and eventually you're going to get your chances down the field. And the Bengals took advantage of it in the playoff game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I'm just. Again, this is a quarterbacks league, guys. And there are, I would say, when you list the top quarterbacks in the AFC right now, Derek Carr is not one of them. And that division, we already talked about it earlier in the show. It's already very, very tough. So,
yeah, absolutely. Tez came in with a comment. He said, "I heard Pittsburgh is looking at Tyron Matthew as well. That'd be dope. I think he'd be a great addition to the secondary." To further beef that defense up. So, although he's got a few years under his belt, I think he'd be a nice addition there.
He ain't gonna be cheap.
He's not going to be cheap. That's a damn fact.
And he's not going anywhere. From what I understand, he's not going anywhere where he doesn't feel like he can't win a championship.
I mean,
if he feels he can go to Pittsburgh and win a championship. That's just what I'd heard.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, at this stage in his career, he's looking for the rings. So,
yeah.
Earl came with a comment over under on how many Raiders get arrested next year. God, I hope it's 0.
Yeah,
I hope it's 0, man. They had enough of that this year.
They really did.
Especially with Henry Ruggs. I mean, obviously being the headline. But yeah, I mean, it's just let's just pray that the guys in Vegas can keep their shit under control and be professionals. Yeah. Ryan asking, where is Pickett going with his Burger King hands? LOL. So yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett, arguably the best quarterback in the draft this year. I mean, who's got the needs and who's got the potentially high?
And the Lions are there at number 2. Lions are there at 2. I see Malik Willis mocked there a couple weeks ago. Whether or not when the combine was going on, whether or not that actually happens, we'll have to wait and see. But,
golly, did you watch him throw at the combine? Did you watch
Malik Williams?
Yeah,
Malik Willis. Yeah.
He throws a beautiful ball.
Effortless. It's quick too. It's a compact, tight release. Kenny Pickett has a similar one as well. Desmond Ridder. The thing that concerns me about Desmond Ridder a little bit is, when you throw the football, you want as little arm motion as possible, right? For a quick release of the ball, you want it to come straight back and go out. Desmond Ridder I'll try and get it in camera here. Desmond Ridder kind of drops his hand. It kind of does that like semicircle to bring it back.
Yeah.
Whereas Malik kind of just straight back and throws it, similar to Kenny Pickett as well. But where's Pickett going to go? I mean, Houston is an option, right? Do they have a first-round pick still? I mean, Houston's going to end up with a lot here in the next few weeks. So I think the Falcons are kind of the front runner right now for Deshaun Watson. So maybe the Saints are an option as well. Just thinking of quarterback needy teams at this point. I don't think the Giants are investing in a quarterback again right now with Daniel Jones still under contract, Tyrod Taylor under contract now. I don't know, Chat. Where do you think he's going to go?
Earl said Houston likes David. Is it Dave? It's Davis Mills,
It's
right?
Davis Mills, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. But the D and the S are right next to each other on the keyboard, so we're going to chalk that up to a typo.
Autocorrect. It is the bane of my existence.
I could see. I could see Pickett ending up somewhere.
Seattle.
Yeah, he'd really be helped by a year like in Minnesota. Like in Minnesota. Like,
I
don't.
feel like they hitched their wagon to Kirk.
I know, but I'm
future.
I know. Yep. I'm saying like I don't think. I'm not sure Pickett is NFL ready right now.
I mean, this draft class is going to be tough, and we're going to get into it here in the next couple of weeks when we go to draft school. And Todd and I are going to be breaking down some film on the show for you guys. I got quarterbacks, wide receivers, and DBs. Todd's got the big hog mollies in the trenches, so that'll be a lot of fun. But I'll if you guys have prospects that you're interested in me looking at, obviously it's going to be Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, and Kenny Pickett for the quarterbacks. We're going to get Sauce in there for the DBs. We're going to get into the wide receivers as well. So we'll be breaking all of that stuff down and doing mocks as we get closer to the draft for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Earl with a hot take, I would say. He says he doesn't think a QB will go in the top 10 this year.
Well, then they're not going to be winners. It's statistically proven. Once you get out of the top 10, they don't win. I mean, there are outliers, don't get me wrong, like Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, but those are fucking unicorns, and we should treat them as such. Yeah, it's just a statistical fact that quarterbacks drafted, I think even outside the top 5, career win percentage drastically drops.
Yeah, I mean, we all know it's not a great draft class for quarterbacks. We've definitely seen better, probably the worst in I'd probably say the last 5-6 years. But yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. Chat, do you guys have any other free agency things that maybe we didn't touch on that you'd like for us to talk about? Corey, Joe, I don't know if you guys had anything pressing you wanted to discuss in regards to this.
I just wanted to give a quick sweep over what the Bengals did to start off free agency.
Yeah.
I like the signings. I think we bolstered the offensive line pretty good. We got the glass eater guys like that Pollock wanted. Kappa was a good signing. I thought Karras was a really good signing. And then today to go get Hurst was pretty good too. I know it stinks losing CJ, losing what he brings in the locker room and in the community outside of what he brings to the field. But I think a lot of people are forgetting, like, CJ hasn't done a whole lot on the field in his career here. Like, I love the guy. I'm going to like him forever. And not a Jets fan, but I like the guy. I think this was a move to get him to the end of his career and get him in front of a camera. I think that's why he ended up in New York.
How many years did he get in New York? Wasn't it only like 3?
3. I think
you think he's done after 3 years?
Yeah, I think he will be, because that'll put him at what? That'll put
11.
That'll put him at 11. Yeah, I think he'll be done then.
Yeah. Right. So he's already got the lifetime health insurance guaranteed by the NFL. I have to think it's like 5-6 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's already got that benefits package. But I mean, the thing about, I'll get into the other free agent signings real quick to kind of put a bow on this show for the night. But, the thing with CJ is his production, and Joe kind of indicated this, his production is extremely replaceable. And when I found out that the Bengals offered a very similar deal to what the Jets had offered and he turned it down, you guys, we have to understand it takes two to tango in these signings. Not only does the organization have to be interested, but the player has to be interested as well. I think CJ enjoyed his time here. We enjoyed his time here as a Bengal, and he's decided that he's going to go take his the next steps, and that's great for him. Go do that. But in terms of on the field production, Hayden Hurst is almost the equivalent, and we literally got him for half the price. He's $3.5 million on a 1-year deal, possibility of like up to 5, I think. So half the price, relatively speaking, of CJ. It's a stopgap. The Bengals are going to invest into a tight end again this year in the draft, I'd say within the first 3 rounds, and they're going to try and develop a tight end in this year, and it's going to be a receiving tight end. Drew Sample is a blocking tight end. Hayden Hurst is a receiving tight end. That's just the way it's going to work this season. In terms of the offensive line signings, and then there's one other signing that I think we need to talk about that's massive as well. So Kappa and Ted? What's his last name again? From New England.
Karras.
Yeah. So Karras and Kappa, I think, fantastic signings. Guys that have both been entrusted to block Tom Brady in their careers. Automatic improvements, right? The Bengals offensive line has gotten better already, and they're continuing to make strides with La'el Collins right now to solidify that right tackle. If they can go out and get one more piece in the offseason and completely retool the offensive line before the draft, you're now drafting best player available. It doesn't matter what position they are. The best player on the board, you're able to take them because you're confident everywhere else. The Bengals signed Eli Apple to a 1-year, $4 million, which, say what you want about Eli Apple, based on his production, that's cheap. They got Eli Apple on the cheap for another 1-year prove-it deal again. Yeah. And the biggest signing, in my opinion, is a 3-year deal with B.J. Hill. Greatest trade in Bengals history, maybe. I don't know. It might be the best trade ever. I think got a 7th-round pick. Yeah, it's up there. A 7th-round pick and B.J. Hill for Billy Price's corpse. That's what we traded. Yeah. And now we've extended B.J. Hill for 3 more years, and I can't wait to see his continued production. He's a great vibe with Jermaine Pratt, who's watch out for his extension coming down the pipeline here soon. That's my favorite signing so far, is keeping B.J. Hill on that defense. Now, if they can go out and get 2 more splash acquisitions on that offensive line, I'll be extremely happy heading into the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. Earl, $8 million is a lot for a tight end, which is why they chose to go a different direction. Yeah. That is 100%
too much.
Sure. Next year's QB class is definitely going to be better, and it's definitely heavy in tight ends this year. So Bengals should have their pick of the litter. If they probably have 2 or 3 on on their list that they want, and I'm sure they're going to get at least one of them. Tez came with a comment. The one thing I hate about the Watson situation is that they're talking about him still having a suspension, which he thinks is stupid. The grand jury refused to indict him based on the testimonies, unfounded. So why suspend him? It's a good point.
I mean,
but the NFL is their own judge, jury, and executioner. So,
well, I mean, you could put it into any other situation as well. If anyone had 22 accounts of, accused sexual assault, and their employer decided to put them on unpaid leave until they figured it out, or, maybe they decided to suspend them until they did their own internal investigation, they have the right to do that. So I mean, it's not unparalleled or anything like that. I think it's,
Girl said it mirrors the Trevor Bauer situation.
I mean, both are heinous. There's both situations have a lot of smoke surrounding them, and these guys have a lot of money to throw at people to make them stop talking, or make them comfortable with not pressing charges or continuing to go down that road. So whether or not he's actually guilty, we'll never know that. We'll never have that answer. So the NFL, I think the real problem for me is and some people have talked about this. The real problem that I'm having with the whole Deshaun Watson situation is he is in the driver's seat, and he is like New Orleans and Atlanta are sitting there saying, what can we do to bring you in? I'm interested in what Deshaun Watson is going to do to be a representative of that community. That's what my questions would be. How are you going to change your image in this league? What are some of the things that you're doing? Because whether or not he's guilty, that stigma is there. It's there, and it's not going anywhere until he changes it. And is Deshaun Watson to blame for all of that? Again, we'll never know. Does he have a part in it? Absolutely. Absolutely he does. So that's really what more my questions would be if I'm the brass of these two organizations. What are you going to do as an individual that's going to make us proud that you are the face of our franchise?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, boys. Well, chat, if you guys have anything else, let us know. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here and put a bow on this bad boy. Atlanta's already gone through this with Vic. Yeah, they might have some experience handling a similar situation.
Sure
well,
did.
not similar, but similar in regards of having a black eye. So, appreciate you guys coming on tonight. We had a ton of comments. You guys were extremely active. Thank you for everybody participating.
You guys crushed it.
Thank you again for everybody that is participating in the charity bracket contest. It's some of the best participation we've had in a charity event, I think, ever. So
awesome.
You guys are incredible, and we appreciate it. We'll see you guys on Tuesday for a little bit more baseball and town hall. And then Wednesday we'll be back with our In the Post segment. We had to take a break yesterday. We'll be back with that next week as well. And then your regularly scheduled programming on Thursday with Line to Gain. See you guys then.